Linda, how are you?
I'm doing great. And, Don, that means a lot. Come on. Anyone would love to line up and meet you. I love it because both of us in the suite watching the Ranger game, it's like, tale of two different people. Like, Don, you're so calm and, controlled and have reason and do your research. And, in fact, I go by sheer emotion like a true crazy fanatic, right?
Well, listen, this is the kind of fan that Linda is, by the way, is that I'm doing a game in Vancouver, and then who just happens to show up was in town, wanted to catch a Ranger game. So I barely get to see you in New York, but 3,000 miles away, I'm hanging out with you in Vancouver.
I know. That was so great. It was just that, you got to live your life, and I had never been there. And, of course, I'd only go there if the Rangers were there, and that's the only reason why I went to Vancouver, even though, as you know, you love that city. There's so many other things you could do in that city, but my goal was, of course, only seeing the beloved blue shirts.
And Jen Lisa sent a tweet earlier when I was talking about this experience, and she asked the question, and I think it makes perfect sense if you're cool with it. She says, I'm going to bet on the Rangers game. If I win, can a child with cancer enjoy the game in my place? Helping children is my passion, of course. That would be a great idea. If Jen happens to win the bid, that'd be a great idea.
I love that idea. Good job, Jen.
So, Mets, how disappointing was it for you to watch that All-Star game, and the only Met you got to see was Terry Collins come out and change pitchers?
It's an absolute joke, and I think I've seen enough Cubs for a lifetime. As Mets fans, okay, Don, I think you can relate to this. Deep down, you know what I'm talking about. So many years during the Yankee glory days, we had to see Joe Torre, the great Joe Torre, name half the All-Star team for the American League all Yankees, well-deserving because they won title after title. And then last I looked, the Cubs haven't won anything or haven't won even a pennant, and to see because of all the situations and the issues and the injuries and everything about the Mets, and they seem to be jinxed by the Cubs curse, and it's happened to the Mets. It was very disheartening and disappointing.
Yeah.
Especially, as a kid, Don, right? What do we love most back in the day of an All-Star game? My thing was when the players were introduced.
Yes.
At the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah.
And you actually want to see the players that are introduced play in the game for your team.
Exactly. And one of my best memories growing up was, I guess it was the 77 All-Star game when Lee Mazzilli hit a home run at the Kingdom. Like, the Mets weren't any good, but at least I got to see one of my guys contribute to the All-Star game. And John Mulvin Jr. sent a tweet, how was the All-Star game boring? The bases were loaded in the 8th inning with 2 outs. It was a baseball game, Linda. I can watch a baseball game anytime, any year, any day. I want to see something different, and I think they really have to kind of overhaul the whole thing. I think everybody should have a chance to play. I think David Ortiz, you can pinch run for him, but he stays in the game and gets his at-bats. Give the fans what they want to see. Yeah, I love baseball, but I'll see plenty of baseball on Friday when they start the second half of the season. I want to watch an All-Star game. I want to see something special.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I've always said this. I don't like it that it means something. I don't like it that it means home field in the World Series.
It's awful.
Because people are going to, listen, people are going to watch this game because there's nothing else on that night, a live sporting event with any magnitude where they can see these kind of players in a big spot. So I'm always the way, getting back to your thoughts, get it back to being an exhibition so you can change the rules. When I mean rules, I mean about how much you could see these players, when you see them, have more fun, do things that wait a minute, but this game means something. I don't buy it. I never did, Don. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. Before we let you go, and of course you can bid, you got until 6:45 to bid on a chance to see a Ranger game in the ESPN suite with myself and Linda Cohn. Bidding is already up to over $2,500, but again, 100% of that money will go to cancer research. I'm going to ask you this. I want you to answer as an analyst, not a fan.
Yes, I will.
Has the Rangers window for a cup closed?
Here's what I do know. The team that right now, if you look on paper, on the roster right now, will not be the same team that starts the season. I expected more to be done in the offseason at the trading deadline. It was not, for obvious reasons. Jeff Gordon is strapped with a salary cap and contracts he cannot move. But I think we're going to see major changes. And your question was, has the window shut or is it closing? What was the exact question?
Is it shut? So it sounds like you won't say no.
Not yet, because they still have a healthy Lundqvist, and I'll leave you with this, Don, and this is very significant for you get all those Twitter followers who chime in with you, and they chime in with me. They can't stand Stahl and Girardi. They're like this and that, blah blah blah. All this kind of stuff. Here's the deal. I hate to say it, but the Rangers being knocked out as early as they were knocked out. If you want a glass to be half full, here it is. The old guys, the guys that have been broken down year after year, by the time it came to crunch time, they're going to be fresher. They've had 2 more months of rest on. So the Stahls, the Girardis, the Nashes, the older guys,
right.
Let's see what happens. I know it sounds like a reach.
Yeah, well, you know what? Are you wearing like an ace bandage to recover from that stretch? Did you pull something while you stretched that far?
Don, you know me. I miss negative most of the time.
I know, but no,
and
you're right.
I did that for you.
That is one of the positives. Pittsburgh, you won the cup, but you had to play 2 more months. You got all beat up.
Hey, look what took out of them when they went to the final and lost in 5 to the Kings. And then last year, again, when they faced the Lightning in the conference final, how half of them should have been in the hospital with broken bones. I mean,
No, you're making sense, but it is a bit of a reach, but it makes sense. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
That's the funniest thing you said over these 10 minutes.
Linda, I'm looking forward to seeing you once hockey season starts. And you didn't get back to me.
I got it. Well, you do this group text. I'm not a fan of group text, Don.
I'm sorry.
What happens if I wanted to write a private thing?
So me inviting you to the softball on August 6th, I've got to remember, has to be an individual, straightforward invitation. You don't want to be lumped in with the DiPietros and the Buttles and the Danicos. So can you play?
I just was getting strange replies out of them to my phone.
I'm sorry.
I hope I can. ESPN Sports Center tends to get in the way on the weekends. I'm not around the corner, but no excuses. For you, I'm going to try to make it happen.
Oh, thank you, dear. I will see you soon.
Thanks, Todd, for having me.